now into the next issue. Police release again. I think this was a few days ago, yesterday it might have been. And I'm referring to evidence. This is what the police release. And it's relative to a video uploaded on social media, Facebook. On May 6, 2024, at approximately 21:15 hours, police ranks in Regional Division 4B were conducting a roadblock exercise at Diamond Public Road. During this time, a Land Cruiser bearing registration number PAE 528 was stopped. The driver, the Kali name, a 29-year-old of 127 DeGar Park, stopped his vehicle in the middle of the road, thereby preventing the free flow of traffic. This driver and his three friends, they put the three friends' name, then became verbally abusive towards the police officers and proceeded to behave in a disorderly manner, which resulted in a crowd gathering. The ranks continued to carry out their duties, and the mentioned individuals and vehicle were searched. No illegal items were found. The four individuals were subsequently arrested for disorderly behavior and taken to Grove Police Station for processing. They are scheduled to appear at the Diamond Magistrate Court on Tuesday, the 7th of May, 2024, to answer to the charge of disorderly behavior. Now, let me say this. The video was sent to me the very night. Long video, about half an hour long. And what I saw there, the people cussing out the police. When I say cussing, expletives, all the F's and the S and the all sort of homophobic thing. You know when they say homophobic, what I mean? They call him the policeman, big anti-man, and all sort of thing. And this one particular man I noted carried on. He cussed out the police. He got up in the police face and all of this. And what they're claiming? They're claiming that they were driving 3 Land Cruisers. They said one, but 3 Land Cruisers. And the police pull up in front of them and stop them. They're claiming further that one particular police whom they pointed out had a submachine gun, and he pointed the submachine gun in a car with children in it. They will show the car with children. You don't see when the police point the submachine gun. But that was the allegation. And they're saying that this policeman was on the verge. I believe he was trembling and all that, like he was just ready to shoot. The man who was narrating the video said at one stage he felt he would have been killed, or the manner in which the policeman operated. Now, it was disgraceful behavior by the individuals. And it was unprofessional behavior, what I saw on the part of the police. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. I'm not here to knock the police. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the police on the patience that they showed during the course of this verbal abuse by these people. Because I don't believe in my day I would have stood there. Well, first of all, in my days, that wouldn't happen. People had more respect for the police. We conducted ourselves far more professionally. But having witnessed what took place the night, I got to congratulate the police on their restraint. I have to congratulate the police on their restraint. But I'm saying this, it was total disrespect shown to the police. Total disrespect. And having said that, let me remind you all, or let me remind us all, that respect is something that you earn. You can't demand respect. Respect is something that you earn. And therefore, the video we showed, the slide that we showed you earlier, with members of the Presidential Guard dressed in what is clearly PPP colors during the Congress, those things breed disrespect. Those things breed disrespect. When you have a senior officer in the force who is alleged to have attempted to launder $16.5 million to the police credit union, those things breed disrespect. And so many other incidents, they breed disrespect. And this incident, in my view, is a manifestation of the disrespect which exists. Clearly. Now let me go into the statement that is issued by the police. They said they were conducting a roadblock. But let me say, as I say, it's a half-an-hour tape or thereabout. There was no evidence that there was a roadblock being conducted. No evidence at all. There was no road barrier. This is in the night, you know. They said 21:15. How do you conduct a roadblock without lights, without road reflectors and all that. There was no roadblock. There was no roadblock. Apparently, the police saw the vehicles and decided, for whatever reason, to stop the vehicle. Now, the force, well, you stop the vehicle. I don't know if you had reasonable cause, because that too is an issue. That too is an issue. We explained that on previous programs, that you have to have reasonable cause before you stop. You can't just willy-nilly decide to stop the vehicle, which seems to have been the case on this occasion. All right. Now, again, police talking, you pull over the vehicle. You want to allow the man to stop in the middle of the road and proceed to do searches when this vehicle in the middle of the road and blocking traffic? And don't tell me that is where the man stopped. You have to control the situation on the ground. The man has to be ordered to put the vehicle in the corner so that you don't impede the free flow of traffic. But that there was no indication that that was done. Because they say they claim to say the Land Rover was stopped, the vehicle stopped in the middle of the road, thereby preventing the free flow of traffic. That is what, again, this unprofessional corporate communication unit is revealing. The vehicle stopped in the middle of the road, you stop the vehicle. So how we stop in the middle of the road? If you have a roadblock, did you not signal the vehicle to go into the corner? And this is how they contradict themselves. Because if you have a roadblock and a vehicle is approaching the roadblock that you want to sort, you have to indicate to the driver to pull in the corner. And even if the driver stops the vehicle in the middle of the road, you have to order him to drive the vehicle in the corner. And if he refuses to do so, then you have to ensure the vehicle goes into the corner of the road and do not and does not obstruct the free flow of traffic. But in this instance, based on what I saw on the tape, the traffic stopped East Bank Road, 9:50 in the night. The vehicle passed diagonally across the road, stopped the whole thing, and then they say disorderly. Well, I don't know if others behave disorderly, but from the tape that I saw, there was one man, as I said, expletive-laden comments. They were cussing up. All the F's and the S directed at the police. They also, another thing, and the people who were stopped asked on a few occasions who was in charge. From what I saw, I don't know that anybody was in charge. It doesn't appear to me, because I think I saw one man in uniform. He had on a long sleeve shirt. I think at one stage he might have been a corporal. And I saw him with a black bushat. You know, it's a bushat, long sleeve and a bushat. Well, I don't know if that bushat is part of the police kit now. But it caught my attention because I know that never used to be a part of the police kit. Bushat. You know, it's the bushat, army type bushat with a string hanging down. That is what the guy with the stripes are on. So if you have this roadblock, as the corporate communication is saying, who was in charge of the roadblock? Who was in charge of the roadblock? I saw no evidence of any roadblock. To be honest, I looked, I saw no evidence. As a matter of fact, when I saw the release from the police, I was surprised that they were saying it was a roadblock. I was surprised. And then the names, the police gave the names, you know, I'm going to call the names, because it's the release here. They said the driver of the vehicle was Paul Davy, a 29-year-old of 127 DeGar Park. They said he's the person who stopped the vehicle in the middle of the road, thereby preventing the free flow of traffic. They talk about charge, therefore, for disorderly behavior. If he prevented the free flow of traffic, I hope the traffic people will get involved, and that too is an offense. So I hope they're going to deal with that. The other persons, they said, no. They said Paul Davy was the driver. He's from 127 the Garage Park. They have Alpha Pool. He is, they say, a security of the same address, 127 the Garage Park, the Garage Park. Our next person they say was Darren Jarrett. He's from La D, the Garage Park. He too, they say he's a security. And Sharon Diabru, 262 5th Street, Lillian, East Coast Demerara. Those were the persons that they claimed. But, you know, it is significant when you analyze who these persons, they say, were. Significant to me, who these persons were. Now, before I go any further, let me bring in Mr. Conway to comment on this so-called roadblock that they said they had. CC, I don't want to, hold on, I get a little issues here. I don't want to, we're getting a little technical issue to add Mr. Conway into this. Yeah, here he is now. Mr. Conway, I want to dominate the button, but let me hear what you got to say about this roadblock when you talk about.
It can never be a roadblock, you know. Well, they didn't say a roadblock. They say it's an exercise, no, instead of an operation. But I always like to go back to the law, you know.
But
And
before you go on, see, they released that they were conducting a roadblock exercise at Diamond Public Road. That is what the Corporate Communication Unit said, that they were conducting a roadblock exercise. So go ahead.
And here what the law says about roadblock or barriers. They say, notwithstanding any act, any officer, inspector, or subordinate officer may, if he considers necessary to do so for the maintenance and preservation of law and order, or for the prevention or detection of crime, erect or place or cause to be erected or place barriers in or across any road or street or in any public place within Guyana in such a manner as he thinks fit. Section 2 says any member of the force may take all reasonable steps to prevent any vehicle being driven past such barrier, and any driver or any vehicle who fails to comply with any reasonable signal of a member of the force in uniform requiring such person to stop such vehicle before reaching any such barrier shall be liable on summary conviction to a fine of $48,750 and to imprisonment for 12 months. Section 3. No member of the force shall be liable for any loss or damage resulting in any such vehicle or for any injury to the driver or any other occupant or such vehicle as a result of the driver of such vehicle failing to obey any member of the force being under subsection 2. So the thing is telling clear that to conduct any road barriers, it must be an officer, inspector, or subordinate officer. And what I saw on that video there, no, apparently nobody was in charge. No, nobody was in charge. And if you're gonna conduct it, set up the road barrier, it gotta be properly done, and it gotta be properly supervised, and you have to give proper directions to persons who you're gonna stop. And if they fail to comply with those instructions, they could be charged and dealt with. And then I heard the explicit, I heard the cussing up, the non-stop cussing us, cussing up, and apparently nobody. Well, they exercise a lot of restraint in this case, plenty restraint. But what happened after then? What was the follow-up action? Did did they bring things under control? And what happened to the violators? I hear about disorderly behavior. That passed the disorderly behavior stage. But again, we wait and see what really happened. What we saw on that video was total lawlessness, and the police had no command and control of what they call the setting up road barrier exercise. They had no command and control. Apparently, nobody was in charge.
Yeah, you made a good point. Up to now, they don't understand the difference between an exercise and an operation. They don't understand. They don't mean to learn that there's a big difference between an exercise and an operation. So they have this, according to them, this roadblock exercise and this thing on. And I remember when you talk about who should be in charge, if you recall, not so long ago, it was last year when the extended squatter who sits in the chair of the commissioner called in all the divisional traffic heads and had them reassigned. He moved them from station where they were, put them elsewhere. And he made a statement to say, it is there in the media, that who should conduct roadblocks who should conduct, and there's only last year, he said roadblock should be conducted by, I think, inspectors and officers, in other words, people in khaki clothes. And there was no evidence of anyone in khaki clothes at this roadblock, what they call roadblock. I know roadblock. And about control, about half an hour or so, about 28 minutes into the tape, somebody came up, I don't know who it was, some man with a sleeveless red top or something, and he seemed to have been an officer who seems to have brought some measure of control to the situation, because he's the one who was there ordering the vehicle to go into the corner. About half an hour into this incident before that took place, I don't know who that person was, but he seems to have brought some control in the situation. And again, let me tell you, as I said, what's in the name, what's in the address. The man who is driving the vehicle, the police said the driver of this Land Cruiser PAE 528, the driver Paul Davy of 129 or 127 DeGar Park, stopped the vehicle in the middle of the road, thereby preventing the free flow of traffic. Let me remind you of the name and address here. This is an article in Stabroek News on July the 18th, 2019. Now, just do my research, I'll tell you, when I come here, I come to give you proper information, proper, credible information. Hear what this article says. I'm going to read it for you to understand, and you make the connections. You are brilliant students. You make the connection. The charge against Marian Davy, who was accused, well, let me get the headline first. Marian Davy freed of attempted murder charge. July 18, 2019. This is the date of the article in Stabroek News. The charge against Marian Davy, who was accused of attempting to murder a police constable by pointing a gun to his head and pulling the trigger, was today dismissed after a city magistrate ruled that the prosecution's case was not credible. It goes on. The charge against 26-year-old Davy of 127 DeGar Park, the same address, Houston, alleged that on May the 13th, 2018, at the Guyana Motor Racing and Sports Club, located at Albert Street and Thomas Lands, Georgetown, with intent to commit murder, she discharged a loaded firearm at Constable 24785 Christopher Kissoon. The preliminary inquiry into the charge against Davy was conducted by the senior magistrate. They named the name, but I don't know why these names are necessary, in Georgetown. The magistrate ruled that a prima facie case was not made out against Davy and noted that the testimonies of policemen Kissoon, Older, and McAllister and one of the arresting ranks were conflicting and not credible. She went on to highlight a number of reasons why she discharged the matter. In regards to Kissoon's testimony, the magistrate said that she could not link his story to the accused person after he admitted during cross-examination that no spent shells were found at the scene, and he was unable to identify the accused during the set time due to the fact that he was intoxicated. She also said that there was no evidence of no video surveillance to support the story. The magistrate went on to say that she was forced to disregard the testimony of John Older, because when Older was questioned by prosecutor during the PI, that is the preliminary inquiry, Older told the court that after submitting his original statement, his superior officer allegedly told him to change it so it would be in sync with Kissoon's statement. In addition, the magistrate stated that during the testimony, Older, in court, Older could not see or did not see Davy discharge a gun, nor was he certain about the identity of the accused. In relation to McAllister, the magistrate revealed that the .32 pistol and .32 ammunition, which he said he placed in the evidence bag during the statement, were not the same when the same evidence bag was presented to court during the PI. Immediately after the magistrate discharged Davy, the prosecutor requested that the two remaining charges against Davy be transferred to another court, blah, 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 blah. It goes on. But I remember this name very well. I remember this matter very well, where they were alleging that this woman put a gun to the policeman head outside GMRSC at Albert and Thomas Land and discharged a run. And a lot of dancing took place. The original thing says she was they charged with attempt murder. The original story says what happened on the first occasion. I ain't gonna bore you with all of that. But the outcome of that matter, as we said, matter was discharged. And I remember a senior officer gave evidence in that same matter. Senior police officer, Mr. Watts, gave evidence in that same matter. And when it comes to relating the serial number of the firearm that was used, certain digits or certain information was excluded in the witness box. I'll tell you how I remember when I was doing research. And when the lawyer questioned him on the cross-examination, Officer Watts became very abusive to the lawyer in court, telling him that he can make mistake. He made a mistake with the number. He can make mistake because I just got for the watchman when you are sleeping and all sort of nonsense. A senior police officer in the witness box giving evidence said in court. And all them, they're in the system now. They're getting promoted and all of them. But I'm going to call them. I'm going to mention these things. Because I mentioned it to say that a lot of the professional or unprofessional action that you're seeing taking part at the lower level, the senior people as well are involved or indulge in the same unprofessional action. So they can't teach, they can't, it's a blind leading the blind. Imagine an officer in the witness box in an attempt murder where a policeman is the victim. This woman alleged to have attempted to kill a policeman. And the senior officer giving evidence in relation to the serial number of the firearm. He left out, I think it's alphanumeric, in other words, it's letters and numbers. If my memory serves me correct, he left out the alpha part. And of course, the defense lawyer picked up on that. Because if he left out the alpha part, it's a different weapon you're talking about. And then the man became abusive to the defense counsel. First, he said that he made a mistake and he's only human, he can make mistake too. And then he went on to tell the liar that when the liars and them sleep in the night, he got for them patrolling and he think that is why he tired. All sort of crap he talk. And what happened? Nothing. A matter of fact, yes, he's promoted. So I'm saying these things to tell you that when you look at the names and the incidents, the fact that they say they're going to charge them for disorderly behavior, watch out to see what can happen. Watch out. According to the release, they should have gone to court yesterday. There's no follow-up to say whether they went to court, what they were charged for, or what is the outcome. That is what you have. They jump and they give a release to say the people will go to court. These persons will go to court. They said they are scheduled to appear at the Diamond Magistrate Court on Tuesday, the 7th of May, 2024 to answer the charge. They did not say quite conveniently whether these people were kept in custody, whether they were put on bail, if they were put on bail, how much money they were put on bail, and all that. They said so. But they said they were to go to court for disorderly behavior yesterday, Tuesday the 7th. And up to now, they said they get silent too. If tomorrow never comes, or yesterday they never came. Yesterday never came. And that is what we have. And that is why we're saying the old system broke up. The system has broken up. And I maintain that once you get people like the current Home Affairs Minister who's sleepwalking, you don't hear anything from him. And when he ventures to say anything, he talk a lot of balderdash. Like when he tell people if you get illegal firearm, put it in a bag and throw it in the yard. Then he come and he tell the firemen how to fight the fire. Put the hose and the source to the fire. He rebuking the chief fire officers and them. He instructing them how to fight fire. And then he jump up and he say, Skeng, the man name cannot. He's banned from performing in Guyana. And the 27th, the man had a big show at Retrieve Linden. So he's a blow. So we understand that. He's a blow. But the ministry in which he is the minister. It's a serious ministry, Ministry of Home Affairs, police, prison, fire, those three major entities come under him, and he's not doing well. It is time this man decide to hang up his gloves, tell him to go home, you don't want to accept your resignation. They can't force you to stay. You can't force you to stay. Do like the police, man. Jump on them. In case you don't know where it's jump, you ain't talking about matrimony. Report sick, man. Stay home. Things might go better if you were to remove yourself from the scene. But I maintain, I said about 2 years ago, when they were talking about reform, I said the police force cannot be reformed when certain people remain in position. Like the Minister of Home Affairs there. At the time he was happy, now you get Akin. You get people like Caesar, and you get many others. The admin man and all that. You cannot reform a police force when those people remain in position. Cannot. It is not going to work. Again, I say a senior officer landing money, $16.5 million. You can reform a police force like that. You get allegation, credible allegation by Boscom that the head of the major crime unit take $30 million to cover up a murder. That is the allegation. And what they do, they went after Boscom viciously, cybercrime charge and all sort of thing. They lay against him. A whistleblower, you know, a man who by definition, who by law is a whistleblower, which the law seeks to offer protection to. Even the president refused to offer the protection to the man. They don't want to hear the story. They don't want to hear what the man has to say. They went after him. They called a press conference to debunk what he has to say. And he has been persecuted ever since. So how are you going to reform a force like that? How are you going to reform when those persons are at the helm of the force? And I made the point, when you look at the training, look what is going on. Look what is going on. And I know Mr. Conway wants to say something about the training, a certain aspect of the